What if I told you that one tiny decision, made in less time than it takes to grab a coffee at the parts store, could quietly decide whether your engine dies early or keeps running long after most cars are written off as worn out? Same car, same engine, same driver. Nothing exotic. The only thing that changes is the oil you pour into the crankcase. Most drivers never think twice about it. They grab whatever the manual recommends, swipe their card, and move on. But behind shop doors, where engines are torn down instead of advertised, mechanics have seen a different story play out again and again. Engines that should have lived long, healthy lives slowly worn down, not by abuse, not by neglect, but by an oil choice that looked perfectly safe on paper. Today we're pulling back the curtain on 3 oil viscosities almost every American driver recognizes: 0W-20, 5W-30, and 5W-40. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The oil listed in many owner manuals did not deliver the strongest long-term protection when tested in the real world. One of these oils consistently ran hotter, broke down faster, and left behind higher wear metals, even though it carries full manufacturer approval. This isn't internet arguing. This isn't brand loyalty. This is real engine data, oil analysis, temperature behavior, and long-term wear evidence. And by the end of this video, you'll know which oil quietly trades engine life for fuel economy, and which one protects metal mile after mile. Stay with me, because the final result surprised even veteran mechanics who've been building engines longer than some of us have been driving. Every oil debate eventually turns into noise. Thin oil saves fuel. Thick oil protects better. Just follow the manual and stop thinking about it. But what most drivers never hear is why those manuals are written the way they are. They're not designed to maximize engine life at 300,000 miles. They're designed to meet emissions targets, fuel economy regulations, and certification tests. EPA cycles, CAFE standards, and warranty averages shape oil recommendations far more than long-term wear deep into an engine's life. That doesn't mean the manual is wrong. It means it's optimized for compliance, not longevity. So instead of arguing opinions, we tested reality. To keep this fair and relatable, we used a modern naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, the kind powering millions of sedans and crossovers on American roads. Tight factory tolerances. Direct injection. No tuning tricks. No bias. The engine was driven the same way every time. Same routes. Same traffic. Same oil change intervals. Same filters. Same fuel. The only thing that changed was oil viscosity. First, the engine ran full synthetic 0W-20. Then it ran full synthetic 5W-30. Finally, full synthetic 5W-40. Each oil stayed in service for 7,500 miles. Throughout each phase, we logged oil temperature continuously, sent samples for used oil analysis, and inspected internal components. No sponsorships. No marketing pressure. Just data. Before looking at the results, you need to understand what viscosity actually changes inside an engine. A 0W-20 flows extremely easily at operating temperature. That reduces friction and improves fuel economy. In rail driving, it can add about half to 1 mile per gallon. The trade-off is a thinner oil film and less protection margin when heat and load rise. A 5W-30 sits in the middle. It holds a stronger oil film under stress and has historically been the durability sweet spot for many American engines. A 5W-40 is thicker at operating temperature, offering maximum shear stability and protection under extreme conditions. Every oil is a compromise. The real question is which compromise actually protects an engine best in everyday life. We started with what most drivers are using right now, 0W-20. On the surface, it performed exactly as advertised. Cold starts were smooth. Internal friction was low. Fuel economy improved by just under 1 mile per gallon compared to thicker oils. But inside the engine, the story changed. Average oil temperatures ran noticeably higher. By the end of the interval, viscosity loss was significant. Used oil analysis revealed elevated iron and aluminum levels, not catastrophic, but clearly higher than the other oils. Internal inspection told the rest of the story. Early varnish forming in the valve train. Faster oil darkening. A thinner residual oil film after shutdown. Mechanics describe this oil as functional, but stressed. It works, but it works harder, and it leaves very little room for error. The real issue with 0W-20 isn't immediate failure. It's margin. In stop-and-go traffic, summer heat, long highway drives, mountain grades, and heavy loads, the oil thins faster and protection fades sooner. It doesn't kill engines overnight. It shortens their lifespan quietly, mile by mile. Next came 5W-30. Same engine, same driving cycle, same interval. The difference showed up almost immediately. Average oil temperatures dropped. Viscosity stayed stable, where metals fell dramatically in lab reports. Bearings looked cleaner. Cam surfaces held a stronger oil film. Varnish formation slowed noticeably. Fuel economy only dipped slightly, so little that most drivers would never notice it at the pump. In exchange, the engine gained a major increase in thermal stability and wear protection. When we talked to veteran mechanics across the country, their answers sounded almost rehearsed. Not because they copied each other, but because experience taught them the same lesson. Longevity isn't about chasing the thinnest oil. It's about stability. 5W-30 consistently delivered balanced protection without sacrificing flow or efficiency. Then we moved to the heavyweight, 5W-40. On paper, it looks unbeatable. And under hard use, it delivered. Oil temperatures dropped further. Viscosity barely moved over the interval, where metals were extremely low, especially under sustained load. Long highway pulls, high RPM operation, steep grades, this oil stayed rock solid. But protection isn't just about thickness. It's about flow. During cold starts and short trips, we observed slower circulation and increased pumping resistance. For engines that rarely see heavy load or long operating cycles, that extra viscosity didn't add protection, it added drag. Mechanics put it simply, 5W-40 is excellent when an engine is working hard. But if your daily drive is 10 minutes across town, you're never using its strengths. When all three oils were compared side by side, the pattern became clear. 0W-20 delivered the best fuel economy, but also showed the highest wear and fastest breakdown. 5W-40 offered outstanding protection under extreme conditions, but wasn't necessary for light-duty driving. 5W-30 landed right in the middle, quietly delivering the best overall balance. That's what surprised people. Not the thickest, not the thinnest, the most stable. 5W-30 maintained strong oil film without excess drag. It stayed consistent across wide temperature ranges. It protected better than 0W-20 and flowed more efficiently than 5W-40 in everyday use. Over time, engines simply stayed cleaner and healthier. Here's something manufacturers don't advertise. Many engines that now specify 0W-20 were originally validated using thicker oils. The shift wasn't driven by a sudden engineering breakthrough, it was driven by regulatory pressure. That's why the same engine may call for different oil viscosities in different countries. Same hardware, different priorities. So what should you actually run? If you live in a cold climate, drive short trips, and change oil frequently, 0W-20 can work. If you want maximum engine life, drive a mix of city and highway, and plan to keep your vehicle long-term, 5W-30 consistently delivers the best protection. If you tow, drive aggressively, live in extreme heat, or put sustained load on your engine, 5W-40 earns its place. This isn't about ignoring the manual. It's about understanding reality. When we asked experienced mechanics what they personally use, almost none said they blindly follow the label. Most run 5W-30 in daily drivers, 5W-40 in high heat or performance applications. Very few choose 0W-20 unless it's absolutely required. Your engine doesn't care about regulations. It cares about oil film strength, temperature control, and long-term stability. In this test, 0W-20 worked, but wore faster. 5W-40 protected exceptionally, but wasn't always necessary. 5W-30 quietly did everything right. Now I want to hear from you. What oil are you running right now, and why did you choose it? Drop it in the comments, tell us what country you're watching from, and your experience might help another driver avoid a costly mistake. If this deep dive helped you see your car differently, hit like, share this with someone who needs to hear it, subscribe for more insider car care content, and stay tuned, because the smallest choices often decide the longest journeys.